Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a clunky rack. I can sort it out with obfs. And I don't think there's anything better. Well, that's a big improvement. There may well be a 7-letter bingo here, and certainly there will be a lot of 8s. I think ablates is good. Can't see anywhere for that. I've got the ABLE ending. So I'm just having a look at the floaters in turn. I can't see anything with an O, although there could be. Close to absolute. B. Can't see anything. Can't see anything with the V. Vatable good. I don't think it takes an S. Now, what about the S? Well, can't see anything there. So this is a pretty good rack, but as the board stands, I think I'm stymied in terms of a bingo. Has that changed? So ablates was the play I saw. Ox doesn't take anything I've got underneath it. And BI doesn't either. Well, A stable is good. And that does play. A stable, I'm pretty sure that's good. And, well, ablate also plays in the same spot. So let me... Well, is this best? I think it is, because in terms of a 4-letter play in row H, the S is a lot less dangerous than the E. And that's an excellent pickup. I have provide in row F and EAS. And I have disprove in column 15, so I should be bingoing next go. Ox takes a Y after it, so that's a pretty hot spot for whoever gets a Y. It also takes an O, which I've got. So do I have a play in row J? I'm ignoring the S for the moment because I think that's likely to be taken. And it is. Sourness, 122, a triple from my opponent. So I'm now 60 points behind. But I have a good rack. So, what is on offer? There's row A. So I have provides in row A for 92. I wonder if I have a play which places my P or my V on this double letter square. Let me run through the alphabet and see if anything comes to mind. Overpaid through an R. P and V not great tiles. So nothing so far. Improved through an R. Provined through an R. That's provide, which I've seen. That's disprove through an R. Pivoted. And pivoted does play in row J, but not enough to overtake the score in row A. Okay, so I have provides in row A. An alternative would be column 11, a double through the L. Let me just consider what that would score. 98. I think I'm going to play here. So provides 92. And I have a scoring tile in the J, but it's an unbalanced rack, too many vowels. But I could play a G in row B, making PE, which would leave a decent rack leave of EOR. Can't see anywhere super hot for the J. There are a number of vowels next to premium squares. Wow, my opponent triples and then draws a natural bingo out of the bag, so he is on fire. Fearing takes an A in front. I'm 50 points adrift. And I do now have a hotspot for my J. But do I want to play there? I want to keep in mind the vowel consonant balance, so I could play JA or JO, but the rack leave is going to be horrendous. 38 points. A G, 31, 7 fewer points, but a much better rack leave. And although I'm opening up row A, there are a lot of hotspots on this board, so I quite like maintaining the number of hotspots. It should enable me to keep scoring. I don't want to have a dry rack where I don't score. However, is there something much better here? Gas takes an A in front. I don't have a double-double with this rack. I think I will go with this. Not great, but not bad either. I've got scoring tiles in the Y and the W, and there are some nice spots, so I could play Yi Ow in column 14, which would sort the rack out nicely, leaving ENOR and scoring well. I'm just 8 points behind at the moment. I don't think there is a bingo with this rack. I'm just wondering if I have a 5-letter play in row A, regardless of where the Y and the W are positioned. And I don't think I do. Which is slightly surprising. The Y is a good tile for going in last place. Well, I have ownery, but that keeps the W. Great. My Yi-Ow spot remains available. Let me see what this scores. 32 points, which is good. And it's a decent rack leave, and it's opening up a new bingo lane. Is there anything better? Well, Cliff takes a Y after it. And also I have a Y for Oxy. So let me put this back. So 32 for Yi-Ow. What about Yow? 43. Well, that's tons better, and it's using the same tiles. What about a play with the Y? Making Cliffy. Well, I think the best I can do is something like WEY, which keeps 2 O's. And scores about the same. I'm going with this. Yow takes an E after it, as well as other things. Horrendous. I draw all vowels and no scoring tiles. I'm 1 point ahead at this point, but this is a situation I didn't want to get into. However, I can play Arena at A1 for 20 points. Both blanks have gone. That remains available because Aal is good, and my opponent is continuing to score, which is annoying. The fearing spot remains available. Now, is arena best? It's keeping the O. I'd rather play the O. So is there a 5-letter play ending in O, ending in A rather, which uses the O? I don't think so. So I have arena for 21, keeping an E and an O. Can I score more than that? And if I'm going to score more than that, it's likely to be using a high-scoring tile on the board. So my R could go after J, A. Well, I think the best I can do in row D is Lear for 21, which is the same score. I'm going with this. Great, I do draw some scoring tiles, and it's balanced in terms of vowels and consonants, and I'm only 8 points behind. Ready to take advantage if my opponent slows up. So far he hasn't. He's just been hammering in with scores of at least 30 for quite some time. I can't see a bingo with this rack. I've got clothe in column 11. Not quite a double-double. 22 points. I'm sure I can do better than that. My H can go between these two E's. The triple letter square under the O, not particularly useful because nothing goes under the V. Still one wide to come for Cliffy. And no S's. All the S's have gone. Quite a lot of bingo lanes on this board. Column 1's available for bingos beginning with A. Column 2 hooking on to F or with a fearing. LAT of a blate's available. Row D available for bingos ending in R. 21 points for my opponent. Great. He is slowing up. So I've got this spot here, the H, to consider. Also, do I have a double-double? I can't see one. I've got the tele prefix. Do I have a bingo through the A or the T? I don't think so. So what can I do through the E using my H? So that could be something beginning H-E-O, not many of those, or H-E-E. I can't see anything there. That is disappointing. And I can't see anything ending H-E. What about a play down from the W, a 6-letter play? I am 30 points behind, 30 tiles still to come, so I want to keep the board open. Bio takes a G after it, Oxy takes nothing. Can't see anything beginning with W. That is disappointing, not being able to use my H between these two E's. I don't want to play just the H, because then that's keeping 2 E's and 2 T's. Ten minutes on my clock. Yao takes an E after it. I can't use that to good effect. Gas takes an H after it. So I could play Hote. That kills a lot of bingo lanes. Only 23 points. A fairly balanced bag in terms of vowels and consonants. I could play Oho. I could play Toho. And that splits up the duplicate T. It scores 29 points, which is a pretty decent score, and it's not obstructing bingo lanes. And the rack leave is okay. I think I'll go with this. Not great, but I do have scoring tiles, so hopefully I can carry on scoring, and my W can go, my W and M can go in this gap by the E's. Wow, 59 for my opponent. He's continuing to do well. I'm now 60 points behind. But I'm not dead yet. So, WEEM is 31 points, and the rack leaves pretty good. And there are bingo lanes on this board. Not good. However, I draw the Y for Cliffy, so I could play Coy, leaving a pretty unbalanced rack. Let me check the vowel situation. A lot of I's. 11 vowels out of 26. So a slightly consonant-heavy bag. I've got Coyote on my rack and Oosite, but they're both sixes. 28 for my opponent, and another good score. Only 15 tiles left now, and he's taken out the double-double possibility. So I could play Oosite and Om. 27 points, but since I'm behind, I'd quite like to slow up. So what I can do is Toyo here for 41 points, which is a good score. Only 2 E's to come, and the vowel being slightly consonant heavy means this is a pretty good rack leave, and it goes quite well with the floating T that I'm providing. Well, I draw only consonants, 4 consonants, so not a great rack, unless I have a bingo. And if I do, it's likely to be through a floating vowel. Can't see anything with an O. Can't see anything through that A. Now my M can go in front of Weem. So I could play Merida in column 13. But I don't really want to burn both these. 31 points though. I'm 15 behind at the moment, but the remaining tiles are pretty balanced, so my opponent is likely to be able to keep on scoring. In which case I don't really want to burn both these, and I don't really want to play off 5 tiles either. Just looking at the NE spot provided by Kite, neither of my high scoring tiles goes in that spot. Still looking for bingos, but I don't think I have one. So what about a play down from the W? Although it will burn 5 tiles, it's likely to score well and open floaters. Great, only 18 for my opponent. Do I really not have a 6-letter W play? Well, I don't think I do, and that's slightly surprising. I don't think Wender is good. So, how to handle this rack? I'm 33 points behind. I probably need a bingo to win. I'm wondering about playing, well, 8 tiles left. Should I play 5 tiles? Is there anything I particularly want to draw? Not sure there is. Maybe it's worth holding on to the M for this spot and playing the C. 6 minutes on my clock. I've got the men ending, and I mentioned that just in case I have a bingo. Can't see anything through the A. C goes quite well with O, but the C can't go in front of the O, so it's not that good. Nearly coming down to 5 minutes on my clock. No A for a fearing. Well, the remaining tiles are pretty bingo-y, so I'm thinking about playing Mender for 33, keeping the C, and providing as many floaters as possible. This is either a very good thing or a very good play or a very bad play. However, it is going to draw me level. And it may make my opponent think if he hasn't got a bingo. And I'm not providing something super easy for my opponent to score off. If he's got the Z, he can't really play parallel to Mender with it. And there are no tiles which go after it. I draw the Z, and it's a pretty clunky rack. My opponent could have a bingo here, but he hasn't got any E's. I played off 2 E's and drew 2. And he's got no scoring tiles. And there are 2 in the bag. They could both be vowels. He could have a really, really ropey rack. Now, where can I score with my Z? I don't think I have a bingo with this rack. What about a Z on this triple letter square running through the R? If I had an A, I could play Zaire. Through an R, I would have Gresseyes, but this R's in the wrong spot. My opponent is likely to empty the bag, in which case I'm probably looking to go out in 2. I'm wondering about guised, but I don't think that's good. I think it's aguized. I've got G's on my rack, but that keeps CIU, which isn't likely to play well. Nes not good. Only 17 for my opponent, so he's got Torn on his rack. So I've got 4 minutes on my clock. He could well have a number of outs, but I don't really have the time to spend looking for those. I'm 17 points behind. I think this game is looking a bit lost now. My opponent has provided an R. But Gresseyes doesn't work with that. Just wondering if I have a Z play in column 8. Can't see one, nothing beginning DZ. Nowhere for G's. Three minutes on my clock. I don't have any 3-letter plays that I can see using the Z. I certainly do want to play off the Z. Can't see anywhere for cuz. Tricky position. So I can play Zing. 28. I thought for a moment I had Gresseyes, but they're not correctly spaced for that. Have I overlooked a spot on this board? So I have Greist for 24. That doesn't give me an out. I'd like to know if my opponent can go out in one. So what about playing Grised? Is that good? I don't know. Maybe Agrised? Well, my opponent can play Ronsed in that spot, so I don't like that. Can I go out with ZEU? Don't think so. 1 minute on my clock. This isn't looking particularly good. Gosh, close to regulise. I just can't see a way of getting a good score off the Z. Well, what about Geyser? Then at least I can go out with EC. The problem with Geyser is it may not be good. Let's find out. Have I provided an easy out for my opponent? I don't think so. So let's see if Geyser stays on. At the moment, I've got a 17-point lead. My opponent would get 8 on count back. Ugh, okay. So, pass to end the game. And the final score, 437 to me, 443 to my opponent. A winning margin of just 6 points. So, well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Was there a win available at the end of that game? So it was me to go first, and Obfs was the Obfs play. My opponent's rack. Looks like he's got Uxorius. Yup, and Poxvirus. He plays Z, or Chi. Now, Astable and Ablates. I saw those two. What I didn't see was Basaltes in column 9. But that's okay. And this is when my opponent gets his triple down, so a great play there, Sourness. And I played Provides for 92, which was the highest scoring play. My opponent picks Fearing out of the bag. And I play a G at B5 for 31. Opponent's rack, he plays Cliff. And I play Yao at J6. Opponent's rack. He doesn't have a bingo, although it's quite a nice rack. And he plays La. My rack's pretty miserable. I didn't see Anorexia, which is quite funky, although not necessarily ideal, putting the A under the triple word square. Instead, I play Arena for 21. Probably, well, Aeon I don't think is better. It's a nicer score in Rackley, but it's very dangerous putting the O next to this triple word square, so Arena's okay. My opponent has Gaunted, nowhere to play it, plays Doug. And I play Toho for 29, which looks fine. And that worked out very nicely for my opponent with Kanats. So at this point, I'm 60 points behind. Welcome for 56. Wow. Look at that through the air, a double-double. That was the play. The perfect response to my opponent's 59. I didn't see it. I played Weem for 31. 25 fewer points. A much better Rackley than T, but not 25 points better. My opponent plays Kite. And I have Toyo at H1, which looks fine. Horrible rack for my opponent, and he's only 15 points ahead. So at this point, he plays Piley, so he's now 33 points ahead. And I have this rack, which is quite nice. And I wreck it. I play Mender for the score. What could I have done? Well, these are all variants on Mender. They're all turning over a lot of tiles, so no really cool 2 or 3 letter plays available, or candidate plays available. And look what my opponent has. Horrendous. We're dead level. This is an awful rack. And he plays Lurid, burning both his vowels, and he picks up a vowel, which is what he needed. And this is the moment of truth, the crunch time. I'm 17 points behind. I probably need to go out in 2. I don't know if my opponent can go out in 1. I play Geyser, which does enable my opponent to go out. Now, what about K11? Zinc. And I'm keeping Yuja. Well, I can't see anywhere for Yuja, but there may be. So perhaps Zinc was the play. Anyway, I play Geyser. And my opponent has got outs with Ront, Torn and Tron, but nothing else. So he doesn't have an out. So Zinc may have been the winning play. Let's go back. So would Zinc win? Zinc would give me 30, taking me to 433, a 13-point lead. My opponent's got Tron. Well, he can play Ront and Zinco, so Zinc isn't winning. What about Grizz, N12? For 28 points, does that win? Well, it certainly doesn't provide an out for my opponent, and it gives me an 11-point lead. I then got Cuz next go. Well, so possibly Grizz. Possibly Grizz. And possibly Zing. But certainly not Geyser and Zinc. So an interesting endgame to consider. So overall, a pretty exciting game with just 6 points determining the margin of victory, or being the margin of victory, and my opponent playing a triple-triple followed immediately by another bingo. So all good stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.